everybody, Lindsay here, aka the Crohn's Ranger. I've got great news. I'm finally back up to my normal weight, which means I have boobs again, I have a butt again. I feel like Meryl Streep in Death Becomes Her after she drinks the potion.
I can't. Did you? I'm a girl.
Well, today's video is going to be kind of a show and tell. I'm going to show you all the supplies that I keep on hand for my ostomy and tell you a little about them and what exactly they do. I keep all of my supplies in one of those 3-drawer plastic roll cards. It makes it a lot easier for organization, especially if you're like me, you're terrible at organization. Keeps everything you need right in one spot. So let's take a look at what I've got in the first drawer. They're heavy. All right, in the first drawer, I've got a bunch of odds and ends that I don't use all the time or for every bag change. I've got some skin protective wipes. You use these to kind of create a little film barrier between your skin and all the appliances. I've got stoma powder. In fact, I've got a lot of stoma powder. I don't really use it that often. It does just what it says. It's powder for around your stoma. It helps keep kind of that skin dry and not get irritated. I don't really use it, but I always keep it on hand in case I do. I've got some spray-on no sting barrier film. I've got a bunch of this stuff. This is lubricating deodorant. You put this in your bag, makes it not smell so much, and it also makes all the stuff inside slide out a lot easier so it doesn't stick to the bag and get all gross. Let's see, I've got some slim barrier rings, which I don't use anymore. I tried the slim thinking that it would be a little more low profile, but I didn't get the coverage I needed and it would always leak. So I went back to the regular thickness. Got a bunch of scissors. Can't have enough scissors. I've got more skin prep protective spray. Ooh, I like this stuff. My stoma nurse gave me this. It's called Duoderm Extra Thin. It's just kind of a dressing. And it works really well if you got breakdown on your skin. You just cut a piece off to fit over that raw area and put that on before you put your wafer and bag on. And it really, really helps. I use it a lot. As you see, it's really cut up because I used it just the other day when I changed my bag because I've got some raw spots. These I use every time I change my bag. I don't know why I have them in this drawer, but I do. They're the sting-free adhesive remover wipes. I use at least 2 of these every time I change my bag. At least 2, if not more. And they're awesome because it makes it so you're not ripping your skin off every time you change your bag. So that's the first drawer. All right, we got the second drawer here. This is a lot of just extra stuff I keep on hand for emergency purposes. I've got a bunch of one-piece bags, which I don't use unless I have to, because I don't know what's wrong with me, but every time I put a one-piece bag on, it always leaks. I can never get this wafer part flat on my stomach, and it always gaps and pinches and folds and ends up leaking. So if I do have to use these, they're maybe good for a day or 2, and that's it. And so usually I don't use the one pieces at all. I've also got some one-and-done throwaway bags. You don't drain these, you just take them off and throw them away when you're done with them. I don't use these very often. I might use these if I had a photo shoot or something like that, because I have so many of those. But yeah, I don't use these very often because I have pretty high output, so I'd have to have a lot of these on hand, and that's just a bigger headache than it would be a help. So yeah, I don't use these very often, but I always have them. I've got a huge box of alcohol wipes. I don't know why I have these, probably left over from home health, but I don't use them for my bags or my bag changes. And then I've got 1, 2, 3 boxes of extra one pieces. I don't know why I have these. I think these were extra that somebody had that my home health nurse gave me when I first got my stoma. And like I said, I don't use one pieces, but I'm keeping these on hand, so I always have something for emergency purposes. That's the biggest thing when you have an ostomy, is always be prepared for if you run out of supplies that you've got something extra laying around that you can use in a pinch. And here's the drawer that I use every time I change my bag. It's a little messy right now because I just changed my bag the other day and I didn't bother to reorganize it. But let's see what I got here. I've got my barrier rings, and they're the regular thickness. And for those of you that don't know what a barrier ring is, it's just a little sticky plastic ring. It's moldable, so you just pop it off of here, and then you take it and you put your fingers in between, you kind of stretch it so it fits around your stoma and make sure it is really tight and flush around it, and you put that on there, and then you put your wafer on top of that. That helps with leaking, especially if you kind of have an unusual size stoma or unusual shape. It kind of helps mold the wafer to fit your stoma so you don't have any gapping, no leaks, no skin irritations, all that kind of stuff. Here's my wafers. They come in individual little wrapped packages like this. I have one unwrapped already. They look like this. And they're cut to fit. I am just shy of 1.25 inches. So I will cut just before that 1.25 inch line. And then you peel off the backing, you just stick it on there after you've used your barrier ring. And the bag fits on here. I'll show you one of my bags. Usually, these are the bags I have right now. I usually have opaque ones, but I ran out, so I need to order some more, but I've got these see-through ones. And they've got a back that fits right on here. It's kind of like a Tupperware bowl and a Tupperware lid. They just click right together, and they stay on pretty well. But yeah, this is the bag. It's a drainable bag. It just folds up like that and Velcros, and that's how it hangs off of you. And I do not use filtered bags. I know a lot of people do. I don't. They're just too much of a headache. I have too loose of an output, so it always clogs the filter, and then they can start to smell. And I like to take baths as well, so if you take baths a lot, the water's gonna get in there. You can put a piece of tape over the filter, but that doesn't always work. One downside of not using a filtered bag is if you have gas, you've got to run to the bathroom every time to vent it, or, I don't know, gas your family out of the car. I've had to do it a couple times. My husband loves when I have to do that. Also in here, with each box of bags, they send you a bunch of these trash bags, which are great for when you change your bag. You can throw all your trash in here and then tie it up and throw it in the garbage can. That way you don't have to take the trash out every time you change your bag. It just makes things a lot simpler. And as you can see, I use Hollister products. This is not a paid endorsement by Hollister, but I like their products a lot. They have a wide variation, and I just found that their products work for me, are good on my skin, and once I found something I didn't want to change because I hate change, so hopefully this always works for me. Otherwise, I'm gonna be really pissed off because I don't want to change what I'm doing. Last but certainly not least is this adhesive remover spray. It is a godsend. It will save your life and it will save your skin. I use this every time I change my bag. It is amazing. It doesn't really matter what brand it is, just adhesive remover spray. It's on Amazon. It's a little pricey for a little bottle like this, but it is worth it. I highly suggest you get it. You just spray it on, it dissolves most of the glue. Adhesive remover spray. Get some. You'll thank me, I promise. Well, that's gonna wrap it up for this video. If you have any questions about anything you've seen on this video, any certain product or any certain brand, you can ask. If I don't know, I will point you in the right direction to someone who will know. If you haven't yet, please check out my other videos. One thing that's new is I now have a Patreon. If you like my videos, if you want to see more, if you want to see me do bigger, better things, please check out my Patreon and think about becoming a patron. I would greatly appreciate it. More new things are coming your way soon, I promise. Tune in next time and have a great day. Bye! I've got stoma powder. Stoma powder? What am I, from Jersey? I got my stoma powder.